Hey out, Spread Lord. Welcome to Rome Total War and a start of another Let's Play of Rome Total War. This will be my fourth one on this channel. And if you haven't seen my other ones, if this is the first one you're watching, go check the other ones out. You get a feel for the other parts of the world. But today, we're going to do a very hard campaign, long campaign, as the Scipii Romans. And you can pause and read this information if you want, or if you have Rome Total War, you can go read that. It's not really that interesting, but yeah, let's get into it.
My family, the house of Scipii, are beloved of the gods.
The god.
A proud boast, but true all the same. In return, we have served Rome, ruled well, led her armies to glory. It has cost us dearly, despite the love of the gods. Sometimes the hatred of men is stronger.
Sometimes weaker.
Our dead lie in many graves, put there by Carthaginian swords and a few Greek ones. Even Roman blades have taken Scipii lives. That we do not forget or forgive. So, now our time has come. The spirits of the dead cry out for blood. I will lead our family in this undertaking. The gods will grant us vengeance. When Sicily is Roman, when Carthage is crushed, when the other Roman families are gone, when the world is mine, then I will stand before the gods and be worthy of their love, and worthy to rule Rome.
Amen. But before we get into that, I'm going to go over a little bit of the rules here, as you can see popping up right now. I have 3 rules that I'm going to go for on this campaign. And I'll go over, I'll play different than your standard Scipii campaign as well. But 3 basic rules I'm going to be following is at least 50 regions. Of course, that's including Rome, so that's basically the long campaign. Control all wonders. I have to control all wonders by the end of the campaign. I have to be holding them at the end of the campaign. And I also have to control every province around the Mediterranean. So you can imagine that'll take quite a while. The Black Sea does not count, because I don't need to go up there. But yeah, from Byzantium to Nicomedia, that's where there's a little bridge there. But otherwise, everything else around the Mediterranean, we will control. So yeah, those are the rules for this campaign. I hope you enjoy, and we're going to start it off here. I'll even cut out the loading screen. And here we go. Our first mission is to take Syracuse, and that is located on the south part of Sicily. We play as the Scipii, of course, and we have 1 settlement located on Sicily, 1 settlement in Italy, Capua and Messana, not respectively, because I said it out of order. But as you can see, we have them here. Just kind of open the settlements there. And we start with a unit of ships, start with a couple commanders, some armies. There's the Senate over there, the Julii to the north, the Bruttii to the east. I'm going to be explaining a lot in this LP, so just be careful of that. And what I'm going to go through the Senate here. As you can see, the Senate tab, it shows you a bunch of policies that you have with some of the nations. Like, for example, the Greeks say they want us to take their land, but if we click another nation, they don't really want us to. And you can see our current mission is to take Syracuse. I can see the Senate floor where we have popularity and with the people in the Senate ranked at a 1 to 10 scale. As you can see, we're 6 with the Senate and 2 with the people. And then if you click on the green piece thing, we show all of the Senate trees here, all the senatorial offices. And as you see, there's a lot more than there is in San Fernando. I modded it to be a little more realistic as far as the number of senatorial offices. So you're going to see a lot of more of my guys be senators, and pretty much most of the Romans in the early game are going to be senators. But later in the game, it'll be a little more selective. And one of our goals is to, kind of dominate the Senate and then eventually take over the Senate and become emperor. Now, the Romans here, the Romans Scipii start with some pretty basic stuff, like other nations. I'll go over the building tree with more detail in a little bit, but for now we're going to train a couple units of peasants, and we're going to send out the Assistati, and combine with this guy here, who's going to go on the boat. And then we're going to send this boat, Admiral Ulysses, Ulas, I don't know how you say that name. We're gonna send them down, and we'll combine with this little force here, and we'll move out. And in Masana down here, we'll also build Temple to. Oh, we can start with the Temple of Vulcan. I think I'll change it to Temple of Saturn soon, but as for now, we'll just click Vulcan, and I'll build the unit of Town Watch. And do we? I don't know if we really need to yet. Yeah, we don't need to yet, so we won't do that. And we'll move the spy down here, and we can see in Syracuse. Syracuse has a decent garrison. They start with a couple units of hoplites, archers, peltis, and a good general. And yeah. So that's our target. That's our first target, and we'll try to attack that soon. Hopefully be able to take that today. And but first we're going to look over the Roman tech tree. As you can see, the Imperial Palace allows advanced construction, and the first Imperial Palace built in Roman lands, in Italy lands, gets you to the Marian Forum. And we'll go over the infantry here. Hastati are light infantry. Pretty good. Principes are basically like Hastati, just a little more armored and have a little more morale. And Triarii here are some very heavy spearmen that are very good against cavalry and can hold out in the melee iron pretty well. As we go through the stables here. Romans have the access to all of the buildings in the game. Besides, of course, faction-specific things. But they have equivalents. And as you can see here, Cavalry Auxilia are solid javelin cavalry. Equites are some good skirmishing light cavalry. War Dogs are good at causing a little fear in the enemy. And Incendiary Pigs, in my opinion, are really not that good at all. So I'm not going to be using them. And if we look through the practice ranges here, again, the ranges, we have all of them. The Romans have a couple unique units here. The Velites, for one, are stronger skirmishers. They're stronger than your average skirmisher. Roman archers are your standard archers. Ballistas, good against men and can do pretty good against buildings as well. Now, a Roman unique here is a Scorpion, ineffective against buildings and walls, as you can see there. So they're only against troops. They're anti-troop artillery. Onagers are a more heavy version of the ballista, basically. Heavy onagers are definitely a more heavy version of the onager, so they do more damage and stuff. And repeating ballistas, again, are ineffective against walls and buildings, and those are the best anti-troop artillery, says the game. But in my opinion, heavy onagers are better. As you look through here, we see the Great Forum, the Curia, maximum bonuses there. And if we look through the Blacksmith, we see the upgrades. Keep in mind that I did modify some of these things, so they will not look the same as Vanilla Total War. And if you're wondering how I did this, check out my Rome Total War text modding. You should be able to find it on my channel. As you can see, we get a full complement of ships as well, and full level of dockyards. And Quiniquirmes, or Quinquire, I don't know. These names are hard to say. And Romans have a full section of aqueducts, including city plumbing, which is unique to the Romans, I believe. They have communal farming, crop rotation, irrigation, and latifundia. They also have highways, which is a unique building for them. Only the Romans can build level 3 roads, which is very nice. And they have a full level of academies. And their unique happiness building is the arena / Coliseum / amphitheater. This also allows each Roman faction to train gladiators, as you see here, Murmillo gladiators. They're carrying a spear and have decent armor. And if we go down, we can look at the temples. Temple of Vulcan is a weapons temple. As you can see, they give weapons and armor upgrades as well as a little bit of experience. And then there's the final temple. Saturn is a happiness temple. As you can see, we're allowed to get lots of happiness. And they're allowed the training of Arcani, which are basically battlefield assassins. Pretty good. I probably won't be using them, but they can be used effectively. It's just they're not that useful in my opinion. And there's the level 5 Pantheon there. And a Shrine to Neptune requires a port, but it allows you to build at it allows you to build advanced ships at the highest 2 levels, the Decre and the Corvus Quinquirium. The Decre is pretty good. It's got 240 soldiers, tons of stuff, and the Corvus Quinquirium is like the best ship. I don't know. I'm thinking if Rome Total War had the ability to fight ship battles on the map, those 2 units would be very interesting. But I'm not going to be going for that. I'm going to be mainly going for Temple of Saturn. I just changed it over to Saturn. And I'll choose a couple areas to go for a Temple of Vulcan. Those will be my military cities. Like, for example, Syracuse will probably go for a Temple of Vulcan. Anyway, if you noticed a little blip there, I had to pause it, but I'm just going to keep talking through. And our main goal is to take Sicily and that island over there, which is Sardinia. And then next, I believe, we're going to go over here into Greece, try to take some territories, take Crete over here and Rhodes. And then after that, we're going to land in mainland Africa after we're prepared there. Sweep across the northern coast, and then we'll come up to Spain. And then from that point, we may attack Egypt and other things. We'll see how it's going by then. Things could change. We might have other targets by then. But that is my initial plan. We'll garrison the army now. No need to... You might as well keep the happiness up as high as you can. It'll move the diplomat to the north. And it's been a pretty long first turn, but I just figured I'd go over everything that I can. So we're going to save it, and we can move our spy a little bit more. And as you can see, there's a Carthaginian settlement on this land. So there's going to be our two main enemies for the beginning of the game, Carthaginians and the Greek cities. Pretty much going to be our only enemies for a while, unless we fight Macedon over in Greece as well. But that's not guaranteed. Greek cities want... something. They want trade rights. Let's see if we can haggle them a little bit, see if we can get a little bit of money out of them. Because we are going to go to war with them quite right away, so I'm going to see if I can get something for the trade rights that are pretty much useless. Let's see if they can give us $1,000 for trade rights. No? They just want flat trade rights. See if I can get some tribute per turn. Could be interesting. And that'll give us a little bit of incentive to hold off for a couple turns, but we don't want to hold off too long. And, okay, they're willing to give us 150 denarii. That's not too bad, I suppose. It's better than nothing. And that might come in handy sometime. So, there we go. End of the turn. The turn is ended. And it's back to our turn once more. We're going to unload the guys over here. Guy Scipio here. And units created. Got some peasants trained Capua for garrison. Capua does not need military for quite a while. In the end game, we're going to want some military because well, I won't go into that now, but because if you haven't played a Roman campaign, I don't want to go into what happens later. But I'll build some more town watch in Messana because I'm going to want to move out all of our professional troops, our Hastati and stuff. And if you have noticed, I am playing on huge scale as opposed to usually how I play on large scale. It's because I did get a new computer, so I can definitely handle huge scale now. And as you can see, we have gone to war with Greek cities. We blockaded their port there. I do want to move out this turn, if I can. So, we're going to pull everybody out. And combine them with Guy Scipio here. We've got a nice army size. Turn down the tax rate a little bit. The town watch should alleviate some of the public order difficulty. And we should be able to get back into good happiness in a couple turns. And we'll siege the settlement of Syracuse here. Build some walls, sap points, and siege towers. We may indeed want to siege attack here on this episode, but we may not. We might let it sit. We have enough time in our mission. And as you can see, the Carthaginian faction leader here has a nice little army here with some elephants, round shield cavalry, Iberian infantry, and some mercenaries. There's also some Iberian infantry in the city and another commander. So the Carthaginians start with a decent amount of force. But I'm kind of hoping that they do not attack us. And in fact, we're going to take Cornelius out here for a second to build a watchtower just so I can keep an eye on them. And we'll move him back into the city. If things go awry with the Carthaginians, we can pull back our army and deal with them. So it's not a big deal. And I'll move to the north here. We want to engage with peace talks with the Gauls. If we can become friendly with the Gauls, that'll hold off the Julii from advancing. And although we do want our other families to succeed, we don't want them to succeed more than we do. So that's kind of the law of this LP. We want them to succeed, but not more than we do. And as you can see, the rest of the Romans went to war with the Greek cities. Now, when one of the other families goes to war with a nation, you don't automatically go to war with them. So that's something to keep in mind. You're not automatically at war. You're not pressured at all to attack them. The Senate may give you missions to give hostile acts to the other nation, but you do not have to go to war with them. It's not required. So to keep that in mind, you don't have to go to war with everybody that the other Romans are at war with, and it doesn't really hurt your relations in the long run either. So as long as you're not like at war with one of their allies, which is impossible. They have to break the alliance if that happens. All right, I'm gonna pull over a spy. They did move this little force over here. So I'll have to pay attention to that. We'll spy on that real quick. And just make sure everyone's there. Move our spy over a little more. We may siege attack soon. Since they do not have much garrison in the city, I think it would be wise to siege attack at some point but we need to wait till all of our siege equipment is built, which it is not yet. So we're going to end the turn. The Gauls are shifting around with some of their forces. The Julii did take Segestica, it appears. And it does appear the Bruttii did take Apollonia, as you can see, taking Segestica over here in this little town, and the Bruttii have taken Apollonia over here. So they're already ahead of us in terms of settlements, but if we take Syracuse, Syracuse is much better than Apollonia / Segesta. So we'll feel a little better about ourselves. And then after the temples, I want to build a trader here. Or after the ports, I mean. Trader here and trader up in Capua. So we can get some early game cash flow going. As you can see, we have a positive about 700 cash. You can add up the totals of your settlements, and that lets you know how much cash you're going to earn or lose at the end of the turn. Of course, in a larger empire, this is hard. That's why there's the financial tab. And there's some... They have a unit of hoplites, general, and militia hoplites in the city. So it shouldn't be too hard of a siege if we decide to. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to check out. We're going to wait one more turn because we need to get the rest of our siege equipment finished, and then we will indeed assault them. And I did forget to move my diplomat, so we're going to have him, you know, do some trade rights and stuff at the end of the turn here. So trade rights, very good. That we don't need anything else at the moment, so we'll keep on. See the Julii moving. Gaul's going to talk to Tarentum there. Talk to the Bruttii. And the turn has ended. And turn we lost about 500. Coming of age, Aulus Scipio has come of age. He is not very good. He's got political animal. Indifferent builder is not good for a governor. And gloomy is not good for a general. So basically what Aulus amounts to is he's going to be cavalry. He's going to be a unit of cavalry. That's what he's going to amount to. And holy cow, there's a lot of rebels here. Wait, what is the deal with my LPs? And like in my first LP had a bunch of rebels early on. And is this one gonna have a bunch of rebels? Okay, that one's a Bruttii land at least. I don't know. That's kind of annoying, but that's gonna cut off reinforcements from Masana. But no worries. We should be able to take that soon. Oh, and they do have another family member. Another family member came of age in Syracuse. So that becomes a prime target. If we can take out 2 family members with a little resistance, it'll be definitely advantageous to do so. Keep in mind, this is on very hard battle difficulty, so this siege attack will be very costly. But before we do that, we can move the diplomat over here. I think I'd like to go over to the west, talk to Spain, and we'll be able to talk to Carthage over the west. I did make some changes to the strategy map, and we'll go over that as we get to them. So we'll see those. But for now, we're going to siege assault Dionysus of Sparta. He's the factionary. He's the prince. And I don't believe we have a prince here. No, our prince is in our capital. So there we go. We're going to engage. And while it's loading, I'm going to take a drink real quick, because I've been talking pretty constant here. And Tacitus says a bad peace is even worse than war. What is it now? Ha ha! A bad peace may be exactly equal to war then, huh? If that's what you mean. But I know what he's talking about, because, you know, the tension. It's just like, are you going to attack us? Or are you not going to attack us? Yeah. That's what makes sense.
This morning, an eagle circled the camp 3 times, then flew towards the rising sun. Such a portent can only mean a good day for us today. Over there stands the Greek army. They make a fine show and are worthy enemies.
We'll see about that.
They think their walls are enough to stop us. They should think again. Those people have never met us on a field of battle. After today, they will flee at the sound of our
This is true. Hopefully.
Now, take up the sword, string your bow, look to your arms and armor. Now comes the hour when we test Roman.
Now what I didn't do in the other LPs is I didn't really leave in these speeches at all, but pretty much for every big battle, I'm going to want to leave in the speeches, because in my opinion, the Roman speeches are the best. So, and they have the most variety to them. So we're going to leave the Roman speeches in as often as we can. We're going to have our Velites use the sap point. Sap point allows us to dig under the wall and knock it down. And it does tire your men, so I'm going to use the Velites for that, because the Velites aren't going to be very useful in the siege assault itself. We're going to group our 2 rams together. We're going to take ladders over here. I'm gonna yawn. Ah! There we go. Yeah, if you thought I was a normal person, if this was your first video of me watching, I'm not a normal person. I'm far from a normal person. I'm just happen to be technical at sometimes, so there's that. Make sure all of our Histati are fire at will, because Histati are armed with Pila, which are special Roman javelins that are armor piercing. And if we do not put them on fire well, they do not throw them automatically. And it does appear that they do have one of their units on the walls, a unit of hoplites here. So we're going to use our siege tower to take care of that. We're going to have our Velites enter the stab point, and our siege tower approach the wall here. And that'll be our first wave of attacks. We'll wait a minute or two, and then we'll send up the ladders as well as backup. And those will be able to take out the towers and such. I'd like to take out that part of the wall with the sappers, and then take a ladder up to the walls, so those hoplites on the walls cannot get up to us. You'll see what I'm saying. And engineers have begun digging. As you can see, there's militia hoplites in the town center and the two enemy general units. If we can kill both of them, that'll be a great blow to the Greeks. But if we cannot, that's kind of unfortunate, because that also means that we won't be able to take the city. We're going to put it on triple speed, and yeah, look how smooth that's going. So I'm not too worried. I did fix some settings on my computer that allowed me to run Rome Total War a lot better. Well, I don't know if a lot is correct, but definitely quite a bit better. And our siege towers are at the walls. Our men are getting shot by the towers, but that's fine. We'll get these guys up here and get these guys up here. And yeah, they should be starting to climb. And then when about, I don't know, 40 or 50 men get in the top of the tower, they'll unleash and have a nice pocket of soldiers to attack the enemy hoplites with. Hoplite units are not quite as good on walls as they are in the open field, so we should have a slight advantage here with our Histati. But again, it is on very hard mode, so I don't know. I've never really... I don't often siege attack on very hard mode, and I don't often, you know, use Histati against hoplites on walls and siege attacks, so a little bit of new ground for me. And just making sure everything looks good. As you see, it appears that the hoplites are using spears, but they will use their swords when we get our men down. We're going to put it on double speed for the time being.
Our ladders are in place, and our men are now attacking.
And one of the ladders is up.
I'm
going, why am I going? I'm not going to call this episode the Yawn Fest, so don't worry about that. But if you look at the top of the screen, I'm sure you can figure out what I called the episode. If you can't read, I'm amazed that you managed to make it to a video on YouTube. So congratulations there. And as you see, the wall, there we go, the wall is down. We were able to take down the wall. You can do that manually with siege equipment such as ballistas or onagers, but stat points are by far the most surefire way to take down a wall. And we did capture the tower there with our Histati that climbed. So we're going to take our Histati here, I believe, and we're going to move him. We can move him over there to capture some towers. That would probably be helpful, in my opinion. And it looks like the fight did start here, so we're going to push out. We're going to try to destroy them. If you hit Alt, and then you click on the enemy with units that have a primary range attack, such as archers or Histati, they will default to their secondary attack mode, which is often blade, sword warfare. So if you don't want your Histati to throw missiles and you want them to charge with their swords instead, that is how you do that. It appears that we're not doing so hot, so we need these guys to get up here as soon as we can to try to even the score. Let's look at them. They're losing about, we're losing about equal guys, but equal is not good enough. We need to win, so we got to get over there as soon as we can with those guys in the ladders, and we can take some towers with that as well. And then after we destroy this unit, hopefully we'll be able to take the city walls here and then get our troops in without getting hurt by the city walls. That is our goal. And we're going to pull up our general here to get some morale support, because they're getting a little shaky. Very hard mode. Your morale and your troops' fighting ability is just horrendous, so you got to be very careful. But playing as Romans on anything but very hard is just not fun, because it's way too easy. So this is the only way to have any challenge with the Romans. With other nations, I like to LP them at hard, because a lot of other nations are much more difficult than the Romans. The Romans are by far super easy, but this should be a nice long LP that shows really the strengths of the Rome Total War. I haven't really shown like the mission system or, you know, faction relationships that well, strong alliances, or really much of the late game, especially Marine units. We haven't gone over much of the Marine reforms, so I would like to do that in this LP. That's what this LP is about, and you guys did vote for it, so there's that. If you didn't know, we held a voting segment about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Was it a week ago? Yeah, it was last week, wasn't it? As we were finishing up the Thrace Let's Play of the same game here. And that went well. They voted for the two highest votes were the Scipii Roman campaign and Venice and Milan hot seat that is going on right now. I'm not stopping doing that, of course. I'm just going to alternate days between Rome Total War and Video 2 Total War. So yeah, there's that. And we are hitting these guys from the back, but our first unit is getting pretty injured. Hopefully they should be able to hold out. We got about 74 and 57 versus 68, so we should be doing pretty good. It's on the cry command just in case anybody decides they want to try to rout. We're going to put it on triple speed because it's taking a while, and we are destroying them. This first unit that's coming up on the siege tower is getting hurt quite a bit because they've lost their initial push, so their men are definitely dwindling. Well, it's on a cry command. And, they did rout. We did lose one unit there. But this unit should be able to handle it, I think. It's going to be pretty close here. And of course, we have other units. So if we end up losing this battle, you know, we do have other units, but we don't want to resort to that. And I'm gonna try to get these guys on. They're gonna go all the way through the towers. Interesting. So those guys are gonna go all the way around the towers and take the whole city wall. While we're doing other things. And there we go. The hoplites did rout, so we were able to take them down. Last couple of hoplites here on the wall, and that was their best unit in my opinion. I guess their general bodyguards are pretty good, but their hoplites can be very threatening in the city center. So I'm glad that we took those out when we did. And now is the time to move in the army. So we're going to take our uninjured, untired 4 units of Hastati, move them in. And then we're also going to move our archers in as well. We can use some archer fire. That'll be very helpful. And then we're going to move in our generals as well. It's kind of funny. I'm kind of used to the Medieval 2 scheme of camera rotation now. So I'm going to be... I might indeed, in fact, you know, just convert to the Medieval 2 style of camera rotation using the arrow keys on the keyboard, on the keypad to the right of your keyboard to rotate the camera, as opposed to moving the mouse to the edge of the screen. Of course, I'll still do that occasionally, but... You know, I might be doing more mouse stuff, so my actions might be a little more efficient that way. I don't know. We'll see. And now it's time to move the Hastati up to the town center here. So we will do that, and then we'll move the generals here, and move the archers back here as well. And again, if you hit spacebar, you can see where your units are going. But in the case of our generals and the archers, they're not really sure how they're going to fit, so they don't really show up. And this unit here is taking the rest of the city. As you see, they started a construction project, but they have not finished. So we'll be set. Oh, and they're charging in with their general. Did not expect that right away. So their main general is going to charge in, and we're going to have to surround him quickly so we do not lose this unit of Hastati and cause panic in our ranks. Put it on normal speed so we can see this action here. They are going to tear this unit apart quite a bit, unfortunately. But we have our general coming in for support, hitting the flank of their unit, and should be doing, there we go, doing some good damage. Greek bodyguards are not as good as Roman bodyguards, so 1 for 1, we do have a slight advantage there. So we should be able to take them down very nicely. They are wavering already, so that's very good. And there we go, we did get them to rout, so we're going to take a lot of casualties. They're going to come right back, of course, because they have the town center right there, which gives them infinite morale. But for now, they shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we're trying to pull our generals, try to have our Hastati handle this, and then take our generals out of the action. That would be the best course of action. We'll combine them. We'll try to get our Hastati into the city center. Maybe they will not charge us again, but we'll see. And if they do, we can attack accordingly. It appears they are charging in again, so we're just going to fight them as we did before. And Actually, it looks like they're going to send in their second general as well. So we're going to have to engage both these generals here. And we made their main general rout again. So very nice. Very nice. And we're going to engage their second general. Our generals are doing a pretty good job. I'm going to have to watch. There we go. We took out their main general. So that's their faction. Their factionaire has been eliminated. Their prince has been killed. So it's already a good start as far as that goes. They are moving on their militia hoplites. So I'd like to finish this as quick as we can. And they are down to only a couple units here. There we go. And we must... Oh, okay, he's the last guy. There we go. We took out the other family member as well. It doesn't show a separate movie for that because he's not as important in terms of leading the army. Make sure I select the right histati here because we don't want the ones that are in the walls to try to come down here. That would be kind of weird. We're going to try to spread out her histati and outflank this unit of militia hoplites and take them down. Militia hoplites aren't that threatening to histati, but normal hoplites can be, so... Luckily, it was the hoplites that were on the wall, where we were able to take them out a little easier. Although, we did lose quite a bit of men doing that as well. And apparently the histati are a little suicidal. They're just going to charge right in. So I guess, you know, we can let them do that. We're going to activate javelin mode, and they should throw their javelins. What are they doing? I don't know. They're being a little silly. So we're going to all charge in. We're going to charge in with our general, get a little bit of a push. We'll try to break up their formation a little bit, as well as take a couple casualties, and then we'll pull out with this general unit and let our histati do the work. And we should be able to take out this unit of militia hoplites very easily. So that should be very good for us, because we will be able to take the city in that case. So everybody charge in and engage this unit of militia hoplites. We have broken the phalanx formation pretty much, so that's looking good. And in hand-to-hand combat with swords, our histati are definitely superior. Even on very hard mode, they are extremely superior. We are taking a few casualties, but of course, you know, you'll always take casualties when siege assaulting. And yeah, a little sloppy of a siege assault, but we did take the city. That's really all that matters. Now we'll make sure to get a militia barracks in the area so we can retrain our men, and we'll be able to move on from there. So no worries, guys. Don't worry about the men that we've lost. We can retrain them. So no problem. And the Romans did lose a lot of men, you know, taking their first settlements. Until they got to the Marineford, there was a lot of men lost from Rome. But Rome just had so many military men. Good thing. So there we go. We were able to take the city of Syracuse here on our first episode. So that went very nicely. Let's look at the battle statistics here. We killed about 400 and we lost about 500. So a little bit of a disadvantageous battle. There you go, disadvantageous battle. But we did take a settlement, so that's really all that matters. And we are going to enslave. Do not exterminate, in my opinion. That is a bad choice for this beginning of the campaign. But enslaving will be helpful because it allows us to distribute population to our other two settlements, which will equal them out. Plus, it'll keep enough population in here to keep training up early. We'll build a Temple of Saturn early so that we can get some... Someone just popped in my room. And so we can get happiness up, but then we'll try and do Temple of Vulcan to get our military going. And but that's all we're going to do today, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of the Scipii campaign. Hope you enjoy. And next time, maybe we'll attack the Carthaginian settlements. Try to take Lillimom and Carolus. And thanks for watching this episode of Rome Total War Scipii. And I'll see you tomorrow.